Good morning. As you drive through the calm streets, let's take a moment to reflect on one of the simplest yet most powerful lessons from Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. The authors remind us that longevity is not about money, fame, or even genetics. It is about staying active every single day. The quote says, "Only staying active will make you want to live 100 years." At first, it sounds almost too simple. But behind these words lies the secret of the world's longest living people. In Okinawa, Japan, home to the world's highest concentration of centenarians, elders don't retire in the way many people in the West do. They don't step away from life, waiting for time to pass. Instead, they keep themselves moving, tending gardens, walking through the village, cooking meals for family, playing games with friends, or practicing traditional crafts. Staying active doesn't necessarily mean grinding in the gym or running marathons. It means refusing to stagnate. It means keeping your body in motion, your mind engaged, and your spirit curious. Think about your own mornings. If you wake up and immediately slip into a cycle of stillness, scrolling on your phone for an hour, sitting in traffic while fuming at others, dragging yourself through tasks, you're letting life slip into stagnation. But when you wake up, stretch, breathe deeply, take a small walk, or even just choose to engage with something inspiring while driving, you are staying active in the most vital sense. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two men, both 70 years old. The first spends his days sitting in front of the TV, complaining about his aches and pains, waiting for others to bring him food. The second, though his hair is gray and his steps are slower, still wakes up every morning to water his plants, cycle to the market, cook for his grandchildren, and laugh with his friends. Who do you think wakes up excited each morning? Who feels that life is still worth living? Clearly, it's the one who stays active. His body might age, but his spirit stays youthful. Activity is what gives him energy to keep going. For you, during this morning drive, here are 3 simple ways to live this principle. Stay physically active in small ways. Even if you sit at a desk all day, commit to movement. Park farther from the office, take the stairs, stretch before bed. Small acts add up. Stay mentally active. Listen to podcasts, learn a new skill, read a book. Feeding the mind is as important as moving the body. Stay socially active. Call a friend. Smile at someone. Engage in conversations, however small. Connection is a form of activity that nourishes the soul. Staying active is not about intensity, it's about constancy. It's not about exhausting yourself, it's about refusing to let life turn into passive waiting. As you hold the steering wheel right now, notice you are in motion. That motion itself is a metaphor. Life is not about standing still, it's about moving, even if the pace is slow. Every kilometer you drive takes you somewhere new. Every small action you take each morning does the same for your life. So remember, only staying active will make you want to live 100 years. But activity alone is not enough. Movement without meaning can feel empty. That's why the next insight from Ikigai is so important. Our Ikigai is different for all of us. But one thing we all share is the search for meaning. Because staying active gives us longevity, but seeking meaning gives us direction. And that's where we're heading next. Our Ikigai is different for all of us, but one thing we all share is the search for meaning. As we continue this morning drive, let's build on the first lesson. We've learned that staying active keeps us alive. But here's the deeper question. Active for what? What are we moving toward? The authors of Ikigai remind us, our Ikigai is different for all of us. But one thing we all share is the search for meaning. Your Ikigai is your personal reason to wake up in the morning. For some, it's family. For others, it's work, art, music, service, or curiosity. There's no universal formula. What unites us is the longing itself, the desire for life to matter. Many people think purpose must be grand, changing the world, achieving fame, building an empire. But Ikigai tells us, purpose can be simple, humble, deeply personal. For a grandmother in Okinawa, her Ikigai might be cooking miso soup for her grandchildren. For a fisherman, it might be the rhythm of the sea. For a teacher, it might be the spark in a student's eye. And for you, driving this morning, your Ikigai might be subtle. Maybe the smile of your child before you left the house. Maybe the satisfaction of finishing a project at work. Maybe the joy of singing along to music in your car. The important point is this: we are wired to seek meaning. It's not a luxury, it's a need, as essential as food or water. Without it, even activity feels empty. With it, even small tasks feel full of life. Imagine two commuters. Both wake up at 6 a.m. Both drive through traffic. Both spend 8 hours at their jobs. The first feels heavy, resentful. He sees no meaning, just endless tasks and bills. Each day feels like a burden. The second feels energized. She knows why she works: to provide for her family, to contribute to her team, to learn skills that bring her closer to her dream. The same activity, commuting, working, returning home, feels different because she connects it to meaning. It's not the activity itself that matters, but the sense of purpose behind it. During this drive, ask yourself, what makes my life feel meaningful today? What small action this morning is connected to something bigger? Am I moving just to stay busy? Or am I moving toward what matters? You don't need to have all the answers. Sometimes, the search itself is the meaning. Just as the road ahead unfolds one turn at a time, so does your Ikigai. Look around as you drive. Each car around you has a driver with a different purpose. Some are parents, some are dreamers, some are tired, some are hopeful. Everyone's Ikigai is different. And yet, all of us share the same search, the longing to live a life that matters. It's comforting to know we're not alone in this search. Even if your purpose feels unclear today, trust that the search itself is part of the journey. So remember this morning, your Ikigai doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It is yours alone. And even if you haven't found it yet, the search itself is enough to give life meaning. And how do we know when we're close to our Ikigai? One clue is a feeling we've all tasted at some point. The state of flow. That beautiful moment when time disappears, when you're so absorbed in what you're doing that you forget everything else. That's the subject of our next quote. The happiest people are not the ones who achieve the most. They are the ones who spend more time than others in a state of flow. So far, we've seen that staying active keeps us alive, and that our Ikigai, our reason for being, is deeply personal yet universally sought after. But how do we know when we are truly living close to our Ikigai? The answer often comes in a feeling. Not a thought, not a plan, but a state. Ikigai describes it as flow, that magical moment when you are so absorbed in what you're doing that you lose track of time and you feel fully alive. The book reminds us, the happiest people are not the ones who achieve the most. They are the ones who spend more time than others in a state of flow. Society teaches us to measure happiness by achievements, the job title, the bank balance, the awards, the social recognition. But many of those who achieve the most still feel restless, stressed, and empty inside. Why? Because achievement is external, while flow is internal. Flow doesn't care about applause. Flow doesn't even care if the world notices. It is a state of being, when your skills and your challenge meet perfectly, and you become immersed in the moment. Think of a painter lost in their brushstrokes, a runner feeling the rhythm of their breath, a coder forgetting the hours while solving a problem, a gardener feeling the soil in their hands. That's flow. Let's take 2 examples. First, imagine a corporate executive who wins awards, earns millions, but feels constantly anxious. He's chasing results, not flow. His life looks successful, but feels empty. Now imagine a craftsman in Okinawa who spends hours carving wood, fully present, humming to himself, enjoying each cut. He may never appear on TV, but his life is rich in flow. Who is truly happier? Not the one with more trophies, but the one with more flow. And think of your own commute right now. Have you ever experienced driving flow? When music plays, the road is open, and you suddenly realize 20 minutes have passed without stress? That's flow too. So, how can you invite more flow into your daily life? Find activities that absorb you. Not scrolling endlessly, but creating, building, learning. Something that challenges and delights you at the same time. Reduce distractions. Flow requires focus. Put the phone away for a while. Create spaces where you can enter that timeless zone. Don't chase big achievements. Chase moments of presence. You don't need to write a bestseller to be happy. Writing a page in deep focus can already give you joy. The more flow you allow into your days, the more happiness you'll feel. Because happiness isn't measured by how much you own, but by how alive you feel while living. As you drive right now, notice your state. Are you tense, thinking about all the tasks ahead? Or can you let go? Feel the rhythm of the road, the softness of the music, the quiet presence of this moment. Even driving can be flow if you let it. So remember, happiness is not about achieving the most. It is about spending more of your life in flow, those precious states where you feel absorbed, alive, and timeless. And often, flow is triggered not by grand achievements, but by the simplest things. A laugh, a cup of tea, a warm conversation, the sound of the morning birds. Which leads us naturally to our next insight. Small joys are what give meaning to our everyday lives. Small joys are what give meaning to our everyday lives. We've explored how staying active keeps us alive, how the search for meaning connects us all, and how flow brings true happiness. But here's something even more subtle and beautiful. Often, meaning is not found in grand achievements or dramatic breakthroughs. It's found in the tiny, everyday joys. The authors of Ikigai remind us, small joys are what give meaning to our everyday lives. This morning, as you drive, maybe the sunlight is softer than usual. Maybe the song on the radio stirs a memory. Maybe the warmth of your coffee still lingers. These are not big achievements, but they are what make life sweet. Modern life often pushes us to chase the big things. Promotions, milestones, fame, financial goals. And while those matter, they are rare peaks on the mountain. You don't live on the peaks. You live on the daily steps of the climb. Ikigai teaches us to appreciate the texture of daily life. The smile of a friend, the laughter of children, the taste of a favorite meal, the stillness of dawn. These are not distractions from life, they are life itself. In Okinawa, elders don't talk about life goals. They talk about Icha Riba Chode, a saying that means, once we meet, we are family. They talk about sharing tea, dancing together, tending their gardens, greeting neighbors with kindness. These small joys, stacked day after day, create a lifetime of meaning. Imagine 2 different mornings. The first, someone rushes out of bed, skips breakfast, curses the traffic, and slams through the day. At night, they wonder why life feels empty. The second, someone takes 1 extra minute to sip their tea, greets their neighbor, notices the golden light of the morning, and listens to something inspiring during their drive. The tasks of the day are the same, but the meaning is richer. Why? Because they honored the small joys. How do we apply this on a normal morning commute? Notice, the first step is simply awareness. Notice the way the light hits the buildings, the rhythm of the music, the feeling of breath filling your chest. Savor. Don't rush past small joys. Let them linger. Let the taste of coffee stay on your tongue. Let the sound of laughter echo a little longer. Collect. Think of small joys as treasures. At the end of the day, remember them, write them down, or share them with someone. They're proof that life was lived today. As you hold the wheel right now, can you find one small joy? Maybe it's the comfort of sitting in your car, maybe the calm of this reflection, maybe the fact that you have this time for yourself before the day begins. Don't underestimate these things. They are the threads that weave meaning into the fabric of life. So remember this morning. It's not the giant milestones that give life meaning. It's the countless small joys that color every day. Collect them, savor them, and you will never feel your days are wasted. And when you live with small joys, something shifts. You stop obsessing about how long you will live, and instead begin to ask, how well am I living today? That brings us to our final quote from Ikigai. Worry less about living long and focus more on living well. Worry less about living long and focus more on living well. As we come to the final lesson of today's drive, let's pause. We've talked about staying active, about searching for meaning, about entering flow, and about cherishing small joys. And now, Ikigai leaves us with perhaps its most profound reminder. Worry less about living long and focus more on living well. In a world obsessed with longevity pills, diets, routines, hacks, it's easy to forget that the length of life is not guaranteed. What matters more is the depth of each day. Living long is not necessarily living well. You could live 90 years in resentment, fear, and disconnection. Or you could live 60 years in joy, love, and purpose, and those 60 years would feel infinitely richer. The elders of Okinawa embody this wisdom. Yes, many of them live beyond 100, but that's not their focus. Their focus is living well today. Sharing meals, laughing, singing, planting, dancing. Their longevity is a side effect of their well-being, not the other way around. When you drive this morning, notice how often your mind jumps to the future. Will I be safe? Will I be healthy? Will I live long enough? These questions weigh us down. Instead, ask, am I living well right now? Am I savoring this very moment? Picture 2 elderly women. The first spends every day consumed by fear, reading about illnesses, worrying about death, obsessing over what might go wrong. Though she lives many years, each day feels like a prison. The second greets each morning with gratitude. She tends her garden, chats with neighbors, plays with her grandchildren, enjoys tea. She doesn't know how many years she has left, but every single one feels full. Who truly lived more. Not the one with more years, but the one with more life in her years. For you, as you drive this morning, shift your focus. Stop obsessing about how long you will live. Start focusing on how well you are living today. Choose presence. Well-being is built in the present moment. Smile at the sunrise. Relax your shoulders. Breathe deeply. Define your version of living well. It might mean being kind, being creative, being connected, being grateful. Decide what makes life feel meaningful to you and practice it daily. You don't control the length of the road ahead. None of us do. But you do control how you drive it, whether with stress or with calm joy. So instead of clinging to the hope of many years, embrace the richness of this very morning. Living well, even in small moments, is the true secret of Ikigai. So remember, don't count the years, make the years count. Worry less about living long and focus more on living well. As we close today's morning journey through the wisdom of Ikigai, let's gather the lessons we've heard. Stay active, because activity is vitality. Remember that your Ikigai is unique, but the search for meaning is universal. Seek flow, because happiness is found in those timeless moments of deep presence. Cherish small joys, because they are the true fabric of life. And above all, focus less on the length of life and more on the quality of each day. If these reflections gave you calm or clarity, take one small action right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a reminder of life's quiet beauty. And don't stop here. The next step in our journey is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a book that takes us deeper into the practice of living fully in the present moment. You'll find it in the next episode, waiting for you to continue this drive of inspiration. Until then, breathe deeply. Notice the small joys around you, and carry your Ikigai with you into today.